and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a very long time and it is now month 3, but I am filming my video for month 1. I've just been super busy and I have not really had time to film a video. So pretty much when I arrived it was the middle of the fair, so we went to the fair a couple times and that was pretty much exactly what you could imagine a fair to be like. There were rides and there were rodeos and then there was all these little food stalls and there were also shows like bands and then a hypnotist show and stuff like that. And we actually ended up going to the rodeo and it was quite different from what I imagined. There was this thing called mutton busting, I think, and it was little kids that got like put onto sheep and then they would see how long they could stay on. It was like these kids were like 5 years old or 6 years old and they had to see how long they could stay on the sheep, and it was almost like a kid version of riding a bull. They were just getting jumped around all over the place and it was so scary because it looked like they could fall off and then the sheep could just like jump on them. I don't understand how parents could like let their kids do that. It looks so dangerous. And then they had actual bull riding as well, and then the guys would fall off and the bulls would almost stamp through their chest or like on their face. I thought people were going to die so many times and it was a very stressful experience. They also had the horses that were wearing all the patriotic American outfits and that kind of thing, with the women riding around in them, so that was the part of the rodeo that I expected. I did not expect people almost dying, but there were also motorcycles. They put out big jumps and then they had the motorcycles jumping through fire and stuff like that. So basically a rodeo is where you watch people almost dying. We also had our orientation at a water park, and so there were 7 of us exchange students and our families and we all went to the water park. That was super fun. I was actually surprised that there was a water park open considering California was in the middle of a drought and I don't know why they would still have a water park open. They did and it was really fun. So after about 5 days I think I had to go into school to sort out my schedule, and I was surprised that most of the school was outside, so it was a lot similar to the schools in New Zealand where it's not just corridors and then you go into each class. There's actually like classrooms outside and like blocks of classrooms outside, so that was very similar to my school in New Zealand. So I went to the counsellor and I had already been pre-approved to be in my dance and drama classes. So I had 2 drama classes, production and competition, and then I have dance as well. And then I also was supposed to be put in a history or government class, but they were all full, so that was really lucky for me because it was a requirement for American schools that you take history or government, but they were all full so I couldn't, and I was super happy with that. I also picked psychology. I'm actually really enjoying psychology. It's one of my favourite classes. And then I have English. And the thing with American schools is they don't put you in classes based on your grade. It's just all mixed classes except for English and history. So I did want to be in a senior English class, and the only ones that weren't on at the same time as dance and drama were full, and so I got put in the contemporary issues class, which was still a senior English, but it's the English class for people who don't really want to take English and don't really like it, so it's a lot easier than English that I'm used to doing at home. We don't really even have to write essays at all. So I do like that considering I've finished school in New Zealand and the grades I get here don't affect me in any way when I go back. So having an English class that's easy is actually probably better because then I don't have as much homework. And then the counsellor sorting out my schedule also told me I needed to have either a maths or a science class, and I did not take a maths or science class in year 13, so I've basically forgotten everything there is to do with maths and science because I just did not need that information in my head anymore. And so I got put in geometry, which is one up from algebra. It goes algebra 1, geometry, and then algebra 2. So I was in that class for about 2 weeks, and then it was really easy stuff that I had done like 3 years ago, and so I asked the counsellor if I could move out and instead be a teacher assistant for beginning dance. So now I'm doing that, which is a lot better because in maths in America they give you homework every night, and it was just getting a bit tedious considering it was stuff I'd already learned and I didn't need to know anymore. So I was super glad that I could get out of that class, and now I only have 1 academic class. All the rest of my classes are electives because psychology is considered an elective. So basically my schedule is pretty good, but a lot of my friends who are also exchange students are stuck in like physics and biology and a maths class and history, so they didn't get as lucky as me. And if you go on exchange you will definitely have to take English, and it is a requirement that you take history or government, but if you can't then it's the best thing in the world because those classes give you so many essays and so many tests and all that, so I'm so glad that I'm not in them. At my school it starts at 7:30 and my bus leaves at 6:40. 8:46, and so we have to leave my house at 6:38 to drive to the bus stop because it's quite a way away. So that means I have to get up at 6 a.m. every morning, which is not fun considering I'm used to getting up at 8 to be at school by 8:45. So I got to school on my first day, and my first day was a half day because it was just to kind of meet all your teachers and for them to give you their course outline and stuff like that. So we finished at 12:30, I think. I think about the lockers. Everyone has lockers in America. For the locks, you have 3 numbers, and then for the first number you twist it to the right, and then the second number you twist it to the left, but you have to go past your number and then back to it, and then your third number you just twist it to the right again. But nobody told me that you have to go past your second number, so I was standing at my locker for like a good 10 minutes trying to do my combination and not knowing why it wasn't working until one of my friends came up to me and showed me how to do it. But yeah, it's not as easy as it looks in the movies. About a week later, I think, was the first football game of the season, and I went to that, and it actually costs $5 to go, so you have to pay to go to your school's football games. And then you go in, and it's more like a social thing. People don't really watch the game. Some people do, like if they have a friend who's playing. Not many people watch it, and it's just mostly people walking around getting food. And then we watched the game for a bit because I wanted to experience what that was like, and our school lost by a lot. It was really actually very boring, and I don't know, I guess my school just doesn't really have as much school spirit. Or maybe it was because we lost, but it was not very interesting, and I think football games are really played up, but they're just not as interesting as everyone makes them out to be, so I haven't actually gone to another one. My family and I also went down to Santa Barbara, which is about an 8-hour drive from where we live, and because we booked it so last minute, we found this caravan on Airbnb, and it was on this guy's property, and he let us borrow bikes and use his hot tub, and the caravan was actually really big. It had 2 double beds in it, and it had like running water and everything. And then we also used the bikes, and we biked into town, and we got food and we explored, and I actually got to do some shopping for school clothes because I could not bring that many with me, and the nearest mall from my house is an hour drive. So even now, 3 months later, I've only gone to the mall once, but the good thing is there is a lot of online shopping, and so I have taken advantage of that. Picture day, I actually forgot the day it was picture day, so I was on the bus coming to school and I realized that it was picture day, and I was not looking my best, but luckily I am a senior, so my ID picture does not get put in the yearbook. I got to take a senior picture for that, which was a relief because my ID photo was the worst ID photo I've ever had, and it was super blurry because they just printed it out while you were there with this card machine, so it just came out and you took your card. You didn't have to wait for it to come to your class or anything, and it was super blurry, and so it looks horrible, but I haven't had to use it for much yet, so that's good, and I think that's the only thing that photo goes on. So getting up for school is super hard, and I feel like almost every day we almost miss the bus. We get there like just as it gets there, and it's like crazy. We could be 10 seconds later and we would miss it, and it happens a lot. Like probably once a week or twice a week we almost miss the bus, and we've only missed the bus once in 3 months, so that's pretty good, I think. I also went on a trip with my drama class to Ashland, Oregon for the Shakespeare Festival. I think there was 18 students that went, and it cost $350, but we got to see 4 shows. 2 of them were Shakespeare, one was Much Ado About Nothing, and the other was Antony and Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra was in an outdoor stage, the Elizabethan Theatre. It was about 9 or 10 p.m. and it was really cold, and I was so sleepy, and most of the people that I was with ended up going back to the hotel and not watching the rest of it, and there was only 6 of us who stayed and watched it, and I was one of them because I was determined to stick it out and watch it even though I was having trouble getting into the Shakespeare language because I was so tired, but I stuck with it and I watched it, and I was glad I did. And we also saw Guys and Dolls, which was so well done, and I absolutely loved it. And then we saw this play called Sweat, and it's a new one, and it's based on the recession, and that one was really good as well. I absolutely recommend if you are going to Oregon to go to the Shakespeare Festival because it is amazing and it is really, really professional and so worth it. We also had actor discussions, so we had an actor from Much Ado About Nothing and an actor from Antony and Cleopatra come and talk to us about how they got involved with the company and what they do and their audition process and that kind of thing, and that was really good because it helped us understand how we could get our foot in the door and like what kind of things we needed to do to prepare ourselves for everything. One thing that is really good is me and my host sister, we both dye our hair. So she bleaches my roots for me and then I do her hair for her. I arrived, and about a week or 2 weeks after I arrived, I dyed her hair blue for her, and that was really cool, but her hair is super long. It goes down to like her butt, so it takes a long time to dye. And then probably like a month after I got here, we bleached her hair, and we started it at like 9 at night, which was a bit stupid because her hair is so long, but we thought we'd be done by like 12 or something. We finished at 3:30 in the morning, so it took more than 6 hours to bleach her hair because it was so long, and we had to do it in sections and wash each section out so that it wouldn't overdevelop and ruin her hair. And then because we were bleaching blue out, all the parts that were blue went pink, which actually looks really cool now, and she's kept it like that, so I just keep doing her roots. So outside of school, I'm actually taking 4 dance classes a week at the local dance school. So I'm taking contemporary, ballet, jazz and jazz fusion. So that's also why I've had like no time to film videos, because I'm doing so much. And also we always seem to have weekend rehearsals for school dance because we always have shows coming up. The only annoying thing is that I'm not allowed to drive here, so I can't drive myself to my dance lessons, and I can't drive myself when I want to go places. And so it's hard when I need to be picked up at different times to my host sister, or if it's like an hour difference of when I need to be picked up, because then I don't want to make my host parents come out twice, so I'll just like wait for her. But that is one thing about being an exchange student. Even if you have your full license like I do, you cannot use it, and that is very inconvenient, but it's okay. So I think that is all I have to talk about for month 1, and hopefully I will be better about filming. So thank you for watching, and whoever has stuck with my channel even though I am really bad at posting. I hope these videos are giving you guys information about what it's like to be an exchange student, and thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I will see you guys next time.